I don't really know what I want to read in June. I think it's going to be a very interesting month because the first week of July I am having my big wedding party and a bunch of friends are visiting, meeting up with loads of people. So June is going to be very much preparing for that. And also, in case you don't know, I've mentioned it a few times, but my husband's broken his leg, so he's got some checkup appointments and stuff that we're going to need to go to, and a lot of my plans are going to be dependent on him and his progress, which is absolutely fine. But that kind of means that I don't really know what June has in store. I'm expecting it to be quite busy, but I don't know what it's going to be busy with, so it's a very interesting scenario for me to be in. I've picked out a few books that I have been wanting to read for ages, or ones that I got quite recently that I thought I would read now because I've bought them and I'm now really excited to read them, so I should, you know, just pick them up and stop putting them off because I have a horrible habit of buying books and then just leaving them on my shelf for years. So I thought, since I bought them recently, let's strike while the iron is hot, just go. Got a mixture of genres here. I've got some fantasy, some sci-fi, some literary fiction, some romance, so let's just get started. As always, I'm very much a mood reader, so my TBR might change, but I'm sure you won't notice, or we can just roll with it, it's fine. So the first one I have picked out is The Raven Scholar. I mentioned this recently in a book haul video. I bought the Illumicrate edition as a one-off. I'm not subscribed to Illumicrate, but I really wanted this book and I love this purple edition. It's absolutely stunning. This is basically how to summarise. You would think I'd be better at summarising books by now. I've been doing this whole thing for 15 years and I still struggle. So this is set in a fantasy world. The emperor is about to step down, and so there is a tournament happening to choose the next emperor. Each of the contestants, I suppose you'd call them, is representing a different animal, and they're all about to take part in this competition or tournament when one of them is murdered. So the main character has to get involved in some sort of murder mystery, and it's a fantasy murder mystery series, I think it's going to be. A lot of my friends have loved this. I really love the sound of it. It's quite chunky, but now that I'm very excited to read it, I thought I would pick it up right away because it does sound like something that I would really enjoy. Continuing on with the fantasy theme, I've also picked out The Twisted Throne. I have been reading a duology in this series kind of every other month, I would say. I like to take a break after the story of each couple is over, and this one is Anna, the princess's first book, or Anna, and she has gone up north to marry her new fiance, or marry her husband, you know what I mean, to get married. But I think what happens is that she doesn't actually like her new husband all that much and she really fancies his brother. So I'm very intrigued to see where this goes. This series is very political. There's no fantasy elements at all really, other than being set in a fantasy world. So it's, I guess, considered low fantasy. And I love the romance and the political elements in it. The second duology, books 3 and 4, they weren't as strong as the first ones in the series, but I'm hoping this one gets better and returns to the same quality of the first duology. I think it's just really hard because I really love Lara and Aaron, and the couple in the second duology just weren't the same. So we'll see how I feel about this one. I'm looking forward to reading it. I also have The Library of the Dead. This is one of the ones that I bought recently. This is set in our world in Edinburgh. The main character is trying to solve a mystery after having spoken to some ghosts and the ghosts telling her that something is going on. So she looks into it and she has to use her magic. I think she is originally from Zimbabwe, or she is half Zimbabwean. I'm not entirely sure. She seems to have grown up in Scotland. Anyway, she definitely knows the ghosts really well there. So yeah, I'm looking forward to reading this one. I'm very interested to see if I like it because I'm kind of hit and miss with these kinds of books, but it sounds good. And then the final fantasy book, or straight up fantasy book I have, is The Gutter Prayer. This one was given to me by my friend Justine ages ago. I've just found the gift note in there. And I'm gonna be honest, I don't really know what it's about. I think it's like a grimdark sort of fantasy. It says here that it's an epic tale of sorcerers, thieves, treachery and revenge. And I think it's a debut as well. It says there's some horror in there as well. So it sounds good. I just don't really know what the plot is meant to be, but we'll see. I hope that I enjoy it. My friend Justine really enjoys it, which is why she bought this for me years ago, and I'm finally getting around to it because I'm suddenly in the mood to read it. And then fantasy adjacent, I also would really like to read the Odyssey in June. I've been listening to Epic the Musical kind of non-stop, and with the film currently filming with Tom Holland and Zendaya, the two most important people in the film, I would just really like to read the original source material. So this is obviously, if you don't know, an epic poem, so it shouldn't take me too long to read at all. It's not super long, but obviously it's written in verse, so I should fly through it really. I don't think it's going to be too difficult, but I'm giving myself like the entire month maybe July as well to read this. I have the Iliad on my shelf as well, and I've had that for years, but I'm currently more interested in the Odyssey because of the epic musical, so I thought I would finally pick this one up. I've also picked out a couple of sci-fi books or sci-fi fantasy horror books. The first one is Those Left Behind. This one I think is space horror, and it seems to be self-published, I think. I don't know if it's the first in a series. Yeah, it's the first in a trilogy. It says here that time is running out for the people of New Palace. Nobody knows that better than the main character, Alvera, a tenacious captain determined to scout past the stars with nothing but a hand-picked crew and the promise she made to find a new home for humanity. So she's kind of like navigating through dark space, and it says here there's something about contact politics and civilizations already on the brink of war. So this one does sound very interesting to me. It's got space, sci-fi, politics, some horror, and I can't remember hearing much about this one. I don't know where I discovered it. I think I was looking for some sci-fi recommendations somewhere, and I maybe saw this on Reddit or recommended on Goodreads or something, so I'm looking forward to reading this. I've also picked out Empire of Silence because I would really like to be caught up on this series by the time the last book comes out, if I enjoy this one, obviously. I have heard that this isn't the best book in the series, and I'm a bit nervous because some of my friends have not enjoyed this. So this is about a guy called Hadrian who has caused a war and stopped a war as well by killing a bunch of people, I think, and he's kind of telling his story and the build up to this big event. It says here that Hadrian Marlowe is chronicling his tale in the galaxy-spanning debut of the Sunny series, merging the best of space opera and epic fantasy. On the wrong planet, at the right time, for the best reasons, Hadrian Marlowe started down a path that could only end in fire. It does say here that he's forced to fight as a gladiator. I think that's the reason why I requested this from the publisher in the first place. I got it when it came out, which is why I've got the hardback, because these are really hard to find now. I think it came out about 10 years ago. 2018 it first came out, and the publisher sent it to me, but I've not read it, which is awful of me, but I went through a whole like slump on Booktube, book blogging, everything around that time. So it's my fault, but I had a reason. So I'd really like to try this and see if I like it. I hope that I do, because I'd really love to get sucked into a massive decade-spanning series, but we will see. And then I picked out some romance books and also some literary fiction books as well. The first one is one that I got from the library. This is actually historical fiction, and that is How We Disappeared. This one is set in Singapore during World War II in 1942, I believe. It says here that Japanese troops sweep down Malaysia and into Singapore, and a village is ransacked. Only 3 survivors remain, one of them a tiny child. Then it skips to the year 2000, where the main character's mind is still haunted by her experiences, and it ends up weaving together the 2 timelines and 2 life-changing secrets. I love the sound of this. I've had my eye on it for a while, so I was really glad when I saw it in the library, because I was going to buy it, but I held back and I got it from the library. I've also picked out Conversations with Friends by Sally Rooney because I figure now is the time to read this one. I've had this on my shelf for ages, and last time when I read Normal People by her, I read that book really quickly, so I think I could probably do the same with this one. It's not going to be a difficult read. She does annoy me sometimes because she doesn't use quotation marks for speech or for dialogue, but eventually I got used to that in Normal People, so I think I can get used to it again. I just think like there's no need for it, just don't do that. But this is set in Ireland, in Dublin, and it follows a student and an aspiring writer, and I think it just follows 2 friends, I guess. I'm not really sure. Last time her book was kind of really like slow and low-key, so I'm imagining the same for this one. I've also picked out Portrait of a Thief. This is a heist story. I've actually already started this. I read the first few chapters ages ago, and I really enjoyed the writing style. It's about an Asian American main character. I can't remember specifically where his family was from. Maybe China? Yeah, Chinese Americans. They are conducting a heist, or brought into a heist situation, as they try to steal back artifacts from British museums or Western museums. I just really enjoy that concept, so I'm looking forward to reading this a lot, especially because I really like the first chapter. And then I picked out 2 romance books as well. So the first is Iris Kelly Doesn't Date. This has been on a few TBRs, but I do need to read it in June because I'm giving it to a friend who's visiting in July. So I need to get on with reading this one. This is the 3rd book in this series, and it's the final companion book. I'm enjoying the series a lot, and they are really fun reads when I read them. It's just I don't really remember much about them after finishing them. So these are good ones to give to my friend, I think. I think she'll really enjoy them. And then finally, I have The Simple Wild, which is another one that I bought recently and I really want to get to soon. This is about a main character who returns to her remote hometown in Alaska after her father calls her with some sort of news, and then she gets there, gets involved in this small town again, and she meets a guy, a love interest there. And I don't know anything else about the plot, but I know some people who have really liked it, and I'm looking forward to reading it. So those are the books that I'm hoping to read in June. As I said, I am a mood reader. You should know by now I don't really follow a TBR, but these are the ones that I'm currently excited about. The only one that I absolutely have to read in June is Iris Kelly. Otherwise, I can kind of just pick and choose books from my massive TBR that I could be reading. Let me know if there are any back there that you can see that I should probably pick up instead. Let me know if you've read any of these ones that I've listed today. If you want me to do a vlog or a review on any of them, also tell me. And thanks for watching. Let me know what you'll be reading in June in the comments below. I'll speak to you all in the next video. Bye!